So, rather than talk about the combat, I'm going to talk about something I hyped up in the intermission. It's about time I finally told you all the story of New Blood and what happened between me and New Blood. Now, back in 2017, I joined the New Blood Discord server. I joined the community. I was also active on the Dusk Steam forums for a little while, but I used to be a big well, not a big member, but I used to be a big participant in like the community back in 2017 and 2018. I used to really like the New Blood forums. When I joined, I thought it was a nice community, and I thought they were pretty cool. You know, they seemed to like retro FPS games. They seemed to have a good sense of humor, and for indie game developers, they seem to be pretty in touch with pretty in touch with what the gamers want. And I guess it's like the old story, never meet your heroes. The thing that happened with New Blood is that the longer I stayed on the server, the more I realized that it was kind of toxic. The at some point they hired new moderator staff, and they really went overboard power tripping. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but it was pretty bad. They would bend the rules to their whims. I remember they'd have rules like no politics and no anime. Yeah, for some reason you couldn't even talk about friggin' anime on that server. And yet 2 of the admins were named after anime characters and had anime avatars. Figure that out. Yeah, Cacodemons being a joke as usual in this game. I remember one moderator in particular whose name I don't even bother remembering, but there was an instance where a moderator went crazy over 2 posts going off topic. I think this was around the time the Super Best Friends Play channel played Amid Evil. Rest in peace, Super Best Friends channel. And we were talking about how, I don't know, some of the people didn't like it. 2 friggin' posts that went off topic, and the moderator was threatening to, ban people temporarily and take their beta access privileges. That's the big problem. If you got in trouble for one offense on that server, they take away your beta access privileges, which you didn't get by default. You had to stay on there for quite a long time and get some kind of karma system to get the beta privileges. So it's I don't know, they would punishment was really severe on that server, and I don't know what to say. But honestly, as the more I went on the server, the more I realized that a lot of this stuff was really hypocritical. New Blood, as you've probably gathered from the Mars Core video and the Taras Nabad video, they're just they had this game called Tonight We Riot, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but which you probably haven't heard of it because nobody bought it. But when it finally came out, it's like some kind of socialist propaganda game, and you control these hordes of rioters in their riot gear as you fight the cops. It's just one big political propaganda game. The thing about New Blood, they had a very strict no politics rule. You couldn't joke about politics at all. So it's you got politics. Oh, by the way, mandatory Marauder fight. Hype this guy up, and then he's used every other fight. No, what happened was they had all these no politics rules, and then Dave Oshry would have all these political posts on his Facebook or Twitter or whatever. It was his Twitter, and I don't know, it just seemed really hypocritical to me. So one day in the off-topic games forum, they mentioned a game called SharpShooter 3D. And what it was this weird commercial Doom mod by, I think it was some kind of Russian developer. It was just a Doom mod being sold for $6 on Steam, and I don't know, people, they were sharing it and they're saying, look how funny this weird game is. Boy, isn't this weird game funny? And, at first it seemed like a ripoff of that one edgy offensive mod. Oh, by the way, I love this secret. It just has nothing but ammo in it, but because Hugo Martin wants you to chainsaw all the time, you basically have unlimited ammo as long as you wait for the cooldowns. I'm sorry this tangent's gone on for so long. I want to really comment on the secret room being pointless more, but whatever. No, so SharpShooter 3D, I told another server about it. I came back the next day, and there was friggin' flame wars going on about this mod, because it turns out SharpShooter 3D was actually a rebrand of a game made by the Russian Antifa organization where you went around killing Nazis in Russia. And honestly, I got that impression from playing the base game, because there's some pretty riotty stuff in that mod, and you even get to visit Lenin's tomb, recreated in like shitty Doom cute geometry. That was like the highlight of that terrible, terrible game. So what happened was, at first I approached one of the moderators about it, and I said, what's the deal? You've got this game by the Russian Antifa, but, you know, like a few weeks ago, you got rid of another game which promoted a different political ideology. I think it was like some kind of Republican thing, I don't remember. You know, Dave Oshry with his California bubble politics. I don't really give a shit about Republicans or Democrats, but like, it just seemed kind of hypocritical to me. I mean, aside from the whole Tonight We Riot shit. So I talked to him and he says, it's okay. You know, we didn't know when we found the mod and talked about it, but I'm sure it's okay. And I don't know, like, at first I was like, okay. I come back the next day, they're still talking about it, they're still sharing it with people, and so I decided to take action myself. And I'm saying, you do realize this game is made by the Russian Antifa, and any sales of this game directly go to their proceeds. You know, you're supporting the Russian Antifa if you buy this game. And the moderators got mad. They're telling me to shut up, and I'm like, I'm finding this kind of suspect, because it's like, you got this game that's like socialist propaganda on New Blood. The guy's making Dusk and a Medieval, and now they're making Gloomwood and Maximum Action and Ultrakill. Yeah, Ultrakill. And it's like, what's the deal? I mean, why would a game company making all these cool retro FPS games be making something that's political propaganda? And so what ended up happening was, I got temporarily banned. I got a 24-hour ban, and I lost all my beta access privileges, so I could no longer play the new episodes of a Medieval before they came out, and I could record them for the channel as walkthroughs. So it's like, I figured, you know, fuck these guys. I can't believe I got banned for pointing out the obvious thing that you say no politics on your server, yet your moderators are actively promoting a game by the Russian Antifa. And it's like, what the fuck? What is, like, again, no politics, and yet here's politics on your game server. You make these cool fucking retro FPS games, and here's the politics. And it's like, I felt so betrayed. It's like, I didn't even want to play a New Blood game after that. I think I eventually did finish a Medieval for the channel, but it's like, I don't know, the love was gone. But Dave Oshry, I don't know about him. I was just very upset about that whole situation, and it's like, I trusted New Blood. I thought they were cool, and it's like, I get banned from their toxic server full of like their weird cliquish mentality. By the way, like, they had this weird boner for Bethesda. I'm glad I quit that server before fucking Fallout 76 came out, because I would have loved to see them bend over backwards to defend that game. Like, they've defended Bethesda so much, they would actually threaten people who wanted to talk about other games and threaten them to ban them just because they want to talk about Bethesda for hours on end. And it's like, how the fuck do you run a community where all the mods have all the power, and any regular users who don't want to talk about what the mods want to talk about get threatened with bans? This tangent's going on for way too long, so what I want to say is, I owe him an apology. You see, what happened was, for about a year, there was no updates on Tonight We Riot until about a month before Tonight We Riot eventually came out in 2020. What happened was, New Blood essentially took away any responsibility of publishing the game, and instead they got a new publisher who was a little more politically orientated. Not sure if Dave Oshry is connected. I didn't bother following the paper trail, but it's like, I owe Dave Oshry an apology. I kind of saw him as this kind of guy who was very California bubble and out of touch, but the fact that somebody at New Blood talked him out of publishing blatant political propaganda when he's supposed to be known as the company that makes cool retro FPS style games, it's just, Dave Oshry, I'm sorry. You and your following of 5 people who disliked that Taras Nabad video, I owe you all an apology. Clearly you must be smart enough to know a stinker when you see one, because when Tonight We Riot eventually came out, people hated it. I even saw people on Twitter who just blindly love Dave Oshry and New Blood just trashed that game as political propaganda, and it's like they're completely ignorant that New Blood was going to publish that game originally till they let go of it. So yeah, props to New Blood. Maybe I will buy your games in the future. I guess people can change.